And we are joined this morning at the IMF by Mr. John Lipsky, who's the first Deputy Managing Director at the International Monetary Fund. John, thank you so much for sharing your time on your Sunday evening. It's very kind of you. Let's get to the situation in Greece. I guess that's the talking point on a lot of people's minds. I mean, why exactly, a lot of people would be thinking, why should the IMF and the European Union, for that matter, be bailing out a country who mismanaged their own finances?
Well, let's try to avoid the term bailout. Rather, the new Greek authorities are undertaking and planning a very thoroughgoing program of fiscal and fundamental structural adjustment in that economy to deal with its very severe combination of high debt, high deficit, and low productivity. And its European community partners and its Eurogroup partners and the IMF, of which Greece is a good member, are standing by to support them as would be appropriate.
Yeah, as would be appropriate, John. I mean, we have Angela Merkel, the German chancellor, coming out and saying there should be a lot of conditions before she's going to give out any German taxpayer dollars to help Greece. What about the IMF? What sort of conditions would your organization attach to this, I guess, this helping hand?
Well, Greece is a member with whom we cooperate. And the Greek authorities are designing an economic adjustment program that will require and justify some support of its fellow IMF members and the European community. The reasons are simple. We are doing for Greece what we would do for any of our member countries. They are voluntarily undertaking a significant adjustment program, and we're going to provide some financial support, or we anticipate providing some financial support to help give them the space to implement the changes that they want to. We do the same for any of our members.
Yeah, Germany and Angela Merkel say that they actually want a report, a study to see if Greece does default. Would that actually impact the Eurozone and the euro before they want to give out any cash? What do you think of that, John?
Well, it's certainly understandable that they too want to be sure that they are acting in support of an economic adjustment program that is, on one hand, going to certainly reduce the fiscal deficit, that will help produce structural improvements in the economy to reestablish economic and financial stability and point the way towards faster growth and renewed prosperity in Greece. Now, this hasn't happened before for a euro area economy. But as I say, Greece is a full member of the IMF, and this is a way that we relate to our members. For the euro area, this is novel and shows sometimes the aspects of the euro membership that hadn't been very clearly anticipated in the European treaty, but under the circumstances, the European members have decided, the Euro group members, put better, decided to join the support.
Now, John, let me ask you from your perspective then, if Greece does go bust, would that actually break up the euro? Could it be at risk?
Oh, Susan, we're not talking about Greece going bust. The Greek authorities have already undertaken some relatively significant adjustment policies. They're already implementing them that would reduce the deficit by about 4% of GDP in this year alone. The program that they're designing in collaboration with us, for example, is going to be a multi-year program of adjustment that will restore the basis for financial and economic stability. Greece is not going to go bust.
Yeah, well, John, I can tell you that the market is pricing in a higher risk of Greece going bust still, because we have these bond yields on these Greek bonds still above 10%. And it looks like a lot of investors are looking at these credit default swaps as well. We're not seeing them come down. So what do you think? What do you think about what the market's saying right now?
Well, I would echo the words of first the managing director and the Greek officials. Let's wait and see in the coming days. We will anticipate concluding the discussions and negotiations with the Greek authorities, and in due time the specifics of the Greek program and the measures and the support will be made clear, and that's a time in which the investors will have the basis for drawing conclusions about the outlook for Greece.
Okay, John, we have 50 seconds here before we hit commercial break. We'll talk about the rest of the G20 meetings afterwards. But one more finishing, I guess, comment on Greece, John, because obviously there's a lot of protests taking place in the streets right now. A lot of people think that Greece really can't handle these tough austerity measures, which are needed right now to guide in their budget.
Well, my guess is this isn't going to be necessarily fun in the short run. My guess is the Greek people, like the Greek authorities, understand the seriousness of the situation and the need to adjust their means, their spending to the means available, but also to undertake some important improvements in the way their economy operates.